Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. Um, Before we get started, I have a couple things to talk to you guys. First is what are the remaining classes for the program for the semester? So today is November 10th. We have a class on November 17th. That's next Sunday. November 24th is Thanksgiving. That kind of week. So 24th is a holiday Sunday. December 1st is our last class. Okay. Now, I know majority of you have signed up for the December 7th review. The registration is closed, but if you if you still want to join and you have not registered, try to contact me. I don't want to guarantee anything, but I'm trying to see if I can get more people registered. So if you're interested, let me know ASAP. Okay, um, that's for sure. And again, I don't want to guarantee we're gonna get the test or not, but we'll try. Now, how many took the October ACT? One. And if you're online, just do a thumbs up, please. If you're taking the October, two, three, four, five. Okay. Now, I'd asked these questions before you got the results. Now you got the results, right? So, and I want to, if you're online, you have to unmute and answer these. And of course, you can answer here. So the first question is, when you got your test scores, did you did you get more than what you expected, less than what you expected, or it's the same what you thought? What do you
I think I did better than what I thought I was going to.
you did better than?
Well, I initially set a goal higher than what I reached, but after I came out of the test, I thought I was going to do much worse
Worse
than
than?
what I did.
But the scores came out a little higher.
Yes.
The reason, that's what I was talking about, it's called the fudge factor. Maybe they're saying the October test was very hard. That's what. So they kind of have corrected that. So that's what the other groups told me as well. Okay. How about online students? Please speak up.
Scored a little bit under than what I thought I would.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? And this is how we collect data. So more you speak up, more it's going to help us. Anybody else? I know a lot more people took the test, so it'll be good for us to know what's going on. Okay. So what do you think you need to do for the December test? Assuming, I think you're taking the December test, right? So what do you think you've learned from your experience so far?
I just think trying to do better time management. I was very slow on the first couple of questions, and then towards the end, I was rushing.
And that's exactly they say one of the things I cannot stress enough. You're left with a month plus few days. Taking the full practice test is the most important thing. Okay, that's what I would recommend. Um, and I know that online students are not speaking up. I wish you guys were, but let me ask you this question. On a 1 to 10 scale, if 10 is this class has helped us the most, and 1 it has not helped us at all, how do you rate now after you got the results?
I'd say probably a five. Like there's some things like the English portion
Mm-hmm.
really helped me a lot, but things like the math portion didn't really.
Math was hard, I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those guys who are in advanced, remember, you guys are in regular level, all right? So even the advanced students said the same thing, the math was hard. Remember, December may turn out completely different. We'll see what happens. How about you guys online? What do you rate us?
I'd rate it a 7. Yeah, the math was pretty hard, but now we're working over it now.
And what our highest from this group, when I said this fall semester group, is 35 ACT. Um, Surprisingly, we had. How about your science scores? Did it go up significantly, or Oh,
This is the first time.
oh,
I
you
took
took, okay. So you'll have no reference then, right?
it.
So one student who took that's her second time taking, she went up by 6 points in science. So, is anybody here who has taken the test for the second or the third time? So you can have a reference, right? If you thought a reference is hard to know what it is before and after. Anybody? Yeah, Sarah?
Mine went up by a little bit, but not much.
Which one did it go up a lot? Which one went down?
My English, math, and science went up, but my reading went down.
Reading went down by how many?
I think like 1 point.
Okay. Science? How much it went up?
Like 1.
How about English and math?
I think 1. I don't know. I don't really remember.
Okay. So one of the things I would definitely keep track is the comparison, right? So when you guys take the December, we'll see how it turns out, okay? But that's gonna be a good reference is when you have an original score before the class, if you had one, by the way, and after the class, then you start getting a reference. Now you have taken the October test and see, you know what to do for the December test, right? So we have made a couple of changes, by the way. One of the changes we are doing is we are done with all the math curriculum, and you can see Aubrey has been doing practice tests now. You can see that, and I'm going to be doing more as well, is to focus on more practice test questions. And that was a key thing for the December test. And this is something we usually do anyways, okay? So, is there any advice you have for us, the students who took the October test? Anything you want to tell us? We need to be doing more, better? I didn't get anything from the other groups. They're like, well, I think they're happy, it seems, but that doesn't help us. Yeah.
I know for my science one, I had a lot of like graphs. It was more charts that I wasn't sure on how to read. So
Like you couldn't comprehend the charts in it?
yes, like I had almost every problem was really difficult charts that weren't, like I didn't have them in any of my practice tests or anything like them.
Okay.
So,
nobody has told me that so far. So you're comparing with the test you had in the blue book. Okay.
in the blue book, I would always do, like this one, I would always do, like practice tests would be,
Better.
yes,
Yeah.
much higher. Like
Yeah.
5
So this
points.
the regular group is basically meant to be an easy book comparatively. So our goal is to kind of build upon things. So we'll see what happens in December. So a couple of students in that group took this class. So they got a 26, they had started with a 21, 22. They got a 25, 26 here. They took the October, they got to 30. It's a gradual movement, it can't just go up. But yeah, I'm very curious to see how the December turns out. If that's going to be, again, difficult, easier, that's what I'm anticipating the way. What I've heard from this October in general, okay, everybody says how they felt. Science, math was the hardest. English was the easiest. And reading and science were in the middle. That's what I heard. So we'll see what happens. Okay. All right. So December 7th ACT review, when you guys do the review test, that's really is a good one. Okay. Gonna get this book, please. Everybody get this book. All right, you guys ready? Okay. So open page number 1. Oh gosh, I can't even read. 5-1, please. All right. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes, 5 questions. This is one of my favorite math tests. Usually we don't do that for this class, okay? We do it for other group. But based on what we have seen in the October math test, we have made some changes. And this is the first major change, okay? You have your calculators ready? Your 5 minutes start now. Go. Time's up. I'm going to read out the answer for the first 5. E J E G A. I repeat, E J E G A. Does anybody need any help on any questions? This is what the plan is. Me and Aubrey are trying to do is to get you the practice. And if there's any problems, we want to know that.
Can we go over numbers 1 and 2?
1 and 2. All right. Any other questions?
Can we go over 4?
1, 2, and 4. All right. Now you guys start with 6 to 10. Your time starts now. 6 to 10. Time's up. So let's walk through these problems. So let's start with question number 2 here. This is a great example of where process of elimination really matters. Now in question number 2, it says there's no 2x raised to 4, right? In none of the exam thing, there's only one 2x raised to 4. So my answer has to have a positive 2x raised to 4 after distributing the negatives, right? So you can eliminate f, g, h. So that's what I have, 2x raised to 4. Then you have a 4x squared plus 2x squared, which is 6x squared. Then you have a negative of negative 2x squared, which is 8x squared. So 2x raised to 4 plus 8x squared. Then I see there's nothing else matching that, so I already know the answer. I'm not going to do the rest. And this is where confidence comes into picture. If you do the first 2 terms correctly, and that's the only thing Matt is there, boom, done. The mistake students do in this is they forget to distribute the negative. That's a silly, simple mistake that can happen. So the first step is careful, and I would take the least amount of time because you can do process of elimination on this. In the real test, I'm not going to write this. You don't have time for this. You with me on this? Okay, that's the first one. Now, get your math packet, please. Open page 11. Math packet, page 11. Page 11 is equation of circles. So we talked about this. First is the x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to radius squared. Of course, if you don't know this equation, you can't do this problem. Am I right? So this is your first step. And you're expected to know this. And honestly, let me tell you, one of our frustration, why students don't do well in ACT math in general. I would say 4 in 5 or 3 in 5 of the students don't remember the formulas that right away. They think about it. They spend too much time thinking about it. So you got to know your equations, okay? Then, you know the h and k they have given in the question as 4, 2. So h is 4, k is 2. Okay, they have given that. The only thing I need to know is this one, radius squared. So they have given a point on the circle, which is what? 1, negative 2. So x is 1 and y is negative 2. So when I plug this in, I get 9 plus 16, radius squared is 25. I plug that 25 here, and that's all they asked for. Sounds good? Well, you can look at the answer choices and see, just on based on this 4 and 2 here, how many you can eliminate actually, right? You can eliminate. So you have to remember, this is what practice does. It will help you to understand how much of process of elimination you can do. I cannot stress on this. If I was taking this test, I would try to eliminate first before I solve it. Okay? Next, question number 4. And stop me if you have any questions, please. Okay? I don't mind repeating it. This is a very typical ACT and SAT question. And if you want to do well in ACT math, these are the questions you want to get well. This is a system of equations. So Bennett is twice Alicia, whatever is the student name. And then Alyssa is 3 years younger than Neil. So I would write these equations 1 and 2. Then they say their ages add up to 63. That's your third equation. 3 variables, you need at least 3 equations to solve. So to solve Neil's age, you have to have all in one variable. So Bennett, I'm going to make it as 2a. Of course, Alyssa is already a. Now Neil, initially the equation is a is equal to n minus 3, but I want this in a, so I rearrange this equation as n is equal to a plus 3. Then plug it in, so this is for Neil, this is for Bennett. Now you have a one variable equation, 4a plus 3 is 63, 4a is 60, a is 15. Now remember, they're not asking for Alyssa's age, they're asking for Neil, so I'm gonna plug this back here. 15 plus 3 is 18. Make sense? I cannot emphasize question number 1 and 4 are significantly important for ACT. So I will put star mark for these two questions. Any questions on this? 6 to 10. I'm going to read out the answer for 6 to 10. HAJ CJ. HAJ CJ. Does anybody need help on any questions?
Number 7.
Okay. 7. Last call. All right. Now, you're going to be doing now 11 to 20, but I'm going to tell you which questions you don't have to worry about, okay? So circle the questions you don't have to worry about. So 11 to 20, don't worry about 12, 15, 19, 12, 15, and 19, I don't want you to worry. 11 to 20, you'll have 7 minutes. Your time starts now. Okay, time's up. So I'm going to do question number 7 first. Quadrilateral ABCD is a kite. Which of the following cannot be determined? Okay, so this is what they've given. Angle 3 is 21. It's the first option. Now, I'm going to teach you guys kite. I know you already has taught you guys kite, so I'm going to go through this quickly. Kite is one of the weirdest, most unique quadrilaterals, where two adjacent small sides are congruent to large sides which are adjacent are congruent. Okay, this is congruent. These two are congruent. Now, this angle, this diagonal bisects this piece and this piece. This diagonal also bisects this piece and this piece. But if this is at 21 degrees, this will not be 21 degrees because this line and this line are not parallel. Okay? So you cannot determine angle 3, but we'll go through the rest of the options. Next one is angle 1 is 90 degrees. So the diagonals of a kite are basically always meeting at 90 degrees. So they're actually perpendicular bisector, but it's a unique situation that this long diagonal bisects the small diagonal equally, but the small diagonal does not bisect the long equally. So it's a unique perpendicular bisector where the small diagonal gets bisected by the large, but not the other way around. Okay? Next, angle 2 is 69. So if this is 21, this is 90 degrees, so it has to be 69. 69 plus 21 is 90. 90 plus 90 is 180. This is a triangle. So angles add up to 180. AD is equal to CD. Well, AD is equal to CD because they are congruent in a kite. So we know that. And then AB is equal to CB. AB is equal to CB. Of course, they already have given that. They should not have actually given that information, but they did. So the only thing I cannot find is this, only because this line and this line are not parallel. If it was parallel, then these two will be equal as an alternate interior angles. Sounds good? Very important. Kites are the most unique quadrilaterals you can think of. All right, now I'm going to read out 11 to 20 without 12, 15, and 19. Okay? Without, okay? So 11 is B, 13 is D, 14 is J, 16 is G, 17 is D, 18 is F, and 20 is G. Questions?
Can we go through numbers 13 and
13 would be
14?
okay. 13 would be order of operations. I would just type it in the calculator. Everybody get your calculators. Type in 13 as is, the way they have given, and see if you guys get it. Even though it's a simple order of operations, people make silly mistakes. So I would just type in as is in the calculator. Did you guys get it? Ashika, did you get it?
Yeah.
Okay. So problems like that, if a calculator can do, great, you should do that, okay? Not that you don't know that, it's just that in the stress and the whole test situation, you may make a silly mistake. And especially with negatives, people forget that. 14 is a very important question. It's a long problem. So I'm going to get to 14 next time. Any other questions? 17. I want to do 17 now. So, because that's a quick problem, I want to do that. Everybody listen up on 17, please. I can't do it. 3x raised to 5. Y raised to, help me out, I hardly can read it. What's that? 3. Z divided by x squared, y raised to, z raised to what? 4 times here, x cubed, y cubed, z. Am I right? Is this question right? Okay, I want to tell you probably the easiest method you would need to know to solve this problem. I can tell you, you'll love this. So there's only 3 here, right? There's no other number, so your answer will have 3. Okay? Now, let's start with x here. You have a 5, you have a 3, you have a 2. Okay? If it's in the numerators, add 5 and 2, which is 7. And there is 2 in the denominator. 5 plus 3 is 8. Sorry. 5 plus 3 is 8. And then if you, as they're in the numerator, you add them. If it's a denominator, you actually minus them. So 5 plus 3, 8, minus 2 is 6, which is in the numerator, x raised to 6. Do the same thing for y. You have a 3 here, a 3 here, a 1 here. 3, 6, 6 minus 1 is 5. Okay? And for z, there's a 1 here, 2, and there's a 4 in the bottom. Now, wherever is the highest, that's where you want to go towards, okay? So I would take these 1 plus 1, 2. At the bottom, 4 minus 2 becomes? Yeah, but if you bring it to the denominator, it'll become 2z squared. You with me on this? So move the numbers towards the bigger side, so that you end up always having a positive exponents. Of course, you can also write the same answer as 3x raised to 6, y raised to 5, z raised to minus 2 if you want. That's not a problem at all. It's just that I think that this is what the answer choice would be, right? Let me see. Yeah. That's what the preferred method would be. Even though this is not wrong, this is what the ACT would recommend. Make sense? So if they're the same direction, add them. If in the denominator, you subtract them. Make sense? Read? Okay. Any other questions? I need to get to 14. I'm going to do that. It's going to take time. All right, so let me tell the plan for next week, okay? We're going to be splitting between math and science. You guys have to have this book, okay? Don't do anything from this book, okay? Just stop there. We're going to be doing half science, half math. Sounds good? Because this book is this test is something we usually don't do it for regular group, okay? But based on October feedback, we're going to implement that. Sounds good? I'll see you guys next week. And 14, we'll be starting with 14 next week. Bye-bye. Have a good day, guys.